While profit is the intention of trade, trade practices should also be fair and ethical. The controversy that arose recently after statements were made about contaminants in imported milk powder products, which then dissipated within a month, is an instance when the fundamental ethics of trade was seen to be violated. Any manufacturer has the right to market the advantages and benefits of their products or services to the public. But when a competitor seeks to devalue or degrade the products and services of another with the sole intention of increasing their own sales, it's an injustice to the public. At the beginning of July, a certain company commenced an advertising campaign violating accepted standards of advertising by degrading competitors' dairy products as being contaminated, unlike their own products. Parallel to this advertisement campaign, certain individuals also began making statements on the contamination of imported milk powder. The question that begs an answer is what qualification or standing these individuals have to pontificate on this subject. The sinister intentions behind these actions, taken at times using national symbols as backdrops, was revealed when stocks of milk powder being held back from the market by customs on orders from the Ministry of Health were released, in keeping with the recommendation and approval of the same ministry. The timely intervention of responsible persons in the government, including the President and the Minister of Economic Development, prevented this problem from affecting the people by escalating it into a shortage of milk powder. The petty aims of these individuals was thwarted thus. There is no doubt that the Ministry of Health arrived at the conclusion that these milk powder products did not contain the chemical compound diazondiamide or DCD after carrying out thorough testing. If another institution that has been conferred with the responsibility of public health and nutrition disagrees with the results released by the Ministry of Health, then such groups must reveal it to the public. In May, a world-renowned professor of chemical analysis affirmed that milk powder products released to the market as per the approval and recommendation of the Ministry of Health did not contain DCD. This professor, who published the procedure he used in arriving at his conclusions, dismissed the conclusions of the Industrial Technology Institute by challenging the procedure employed, which was the basis for the ITI's conclusion. If certain individuals continue to target a selected dairy product and make ill-informed statements, then the public has the right to question their intentions.
We believe that nutritional needs can be met through various alternative means. Until we have enough milk, we should move towards alternative means to meet nutritional needs.
Statements made before the public by certain medical specialists and unions affiliated to the field when a certain coterie was targeting a selected brand of milk powder for petty business gains served more to facilitate the aims of these petty persons than to ease the minds of the people. There is nothing wrong with an individual who is a lawyer by profession and is the owner of an advertising agency speaking about the health and nutrition of the people. But the public will keep a close eye on the activities of such an individual who is not qualified in science and spreads disinformation by convening press briefings, intentionally keeping news first out for fear of being questioned and caught out. This would be more tragic than turning the country's stock exchange into a casino. The failure of the devious plot targeting a selected milk powder brand has highlighted the sinister motives of a few individuals. The watchful eye of the public is on them and all their activities.
Today was the final day of campaigning for the Maldivian presidential election.
News First Ramesh Rigal Bandara filed this report from the Maldivian capital, Malé.
Decorations and cutouts that fill the streets in this manner are scheduled to be taken down before polling begins tomorrow, as election propaganda activities came to a halt at 6 p.m. local time today. A total of 239,593 individuals are registered to cast their ballot at tomorrow's polls. 65,745 of them have registered to vote at a location outside their home island. This includes Maldivian expatriates living in countries such as Sri Lanka, India, Malaysia, Singapore and England. A total of 470 ballot boxes will be in place throughout the country and abroad, according to Fawd Tawfiq, the President of the Elections Commission. Primary election results are due to be released at midnight tomorrow. A total of over 3,000 local and foreign election observers from a number of countries will take part in the election process. Polls for the Maldivian presidential election 2013 will open at 7:30 a.m. Maldivian time here in Male City and will open at 8 a.m. Sri Lanka time in Colombo. Now polls will remain open until 4 p.m. Maldivian time and 4:30 p.m. Sri Lankan time. Many in the Maldives believe that the presidential election will go in for a second round, as all four candidates have garnered substantial support. News First, of course, will keep you up to date with regard to the proceedings of the 2013 Maldivian presidential election. For News First, I'm Ramesh Rugal Bandara from Male, Maldives.
Welcome back to the news. The President of India's Janata Party, Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, called on President Mahinda Rajapaksa today.
Dr. Subramaniam Swamy and President Mahinda Rajapaksa discussed about the political situation of both countries. According to a communique issued by the Presidential Media Unit, the discussions also centered on issues pertaining to the fishing communities of both countries.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Gihan Pilipitiya determined today that the Attorney General has the power to prosecute in the case pertaining to charges filed against the former chairman of the National Savings Bank, Pradeep Karyavasam, by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption.
Charges were filed against Karyavasam over the controversial purchase of a large number of shares of the finance company PLC by the National Savings Bank.
Raising a preliminary objection when the case was taken up before the Colombo Chief Magistrate today, Pradeep Karyavasam's legal counsel, Attorney at Law Salia Peiris, said that the Attorney General and his representatives do not have the jurisdiction to prosecute in bribery-related cases. Peiris argued further that the intention of the establishment of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption was to ensure that it functioned independently. An objection was filed against the representation of the Attorney General's department. The reason behind this was that the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption is an independent commission. Section 13 of the relevant act states very clearly as to who has the jurisdiction to prosecute. We submitted preliminary objections based on this. Submissions that were made by the Attorney General's representative were also considered. After considering the submissions made, the Honorable Chief Magistrate overruled the objection. The indictment hearing will convene on the 19th of December as intended. This individual had to once again seek redress from the court.